one sees. The hidden struggle no one sees. Guys, we got the question from the Diary of a CEO. Today, guys, we're changing the game. Okay, the game was one way, the game's about to be another. It's a beautiful, rainy day out here, and we kick off every stream now with one of these questions. Diary of a CEO. At the end of every podcast, they ask a question of the guest. So let's say you go on, the next person gives a question. So anyway, we're answering some deep, deep questions. I'm going to pull it out. I actually was about to pull it out right out here, but it's raining and I don't want to ruin the cards here. So we're going to wait until we get inside and then I'll pull this card for you. But the game plan for today, it's going to be a tight stream. You might be thinking, Will, why should we stay for this tight stream here? Well, you should stay because we are going to be giving you the breakdown. We have our assistant coming in later today, and there's a lot to cover. A lot's been happening. It's that time of year, guys. It's that time of year right before the holidays where if you sprint, then you're going to go places, okay? So we're going to keep tossing out ideas, analogies, and we have another big reveal. That big reveal is that later on today, we're going to make a key decision on stream, okay? A lot of fast decisions being made, but you guys, I don't want to go off topic here. You guys clicked wanting to hear the hidden struggle. Actually, you know what? I'll tell you once we get inside. We can already see the gym from over here. And if I start, I'm gonna get distracted once I'm like trying to check in. It's a whole ordeal. But I will share this with you guys. Another thing that I guess it's a big positive of you guys tuning into these streams now, but it's very difficult to answer some of these questions. When I first came up with the idea that we were going to do this, I didn't realize how difficult some of these questions were going to be. Even this one that we're kicking off the stream with. I'll read it for the exact wording. We use ChatGPT and AI to get the streams ready. And I took a photo of this question and it came up with a really good title and thumbnail. But man, I didn't realize that the guests on this show were just asking such difficult, deep questions. Okay, guys. About to get to the gym. We're going to kick it off with some cardio. Okay? Kick it off with some cardio, and I will answer that question. 1 second. I got to mute myself. All right. So our main bike is unfortunately not available. but we've got this one here. So we always have two options. We're on option number 2 today. For this option, I will... This one's actually not as good because I think I'm going to have to hold the camera. All right, here we go. Put this like right there. It's been, I want to say like four days since we streamed last. I'm going to clean the lens here. Okay. Okay. Dang, I might have to hold this the entire time I'm biking. Okay, let's see here. Okay. I am gonna have to hold this while I bike. Okay. So, this is okay. We can do this. All right. Let's reset here now that we're situated. So, I almost forgot. I'll grab the cards for you. All right. Here are the cards that we are going to be answering. So this is the card that the thumbnail was based off of. So what is the unobvious thing that you struggle with? It was a question that was asked by Max Lugaver. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know who that is, but it's a good question. Very good question. And if he was on the podcast, then you know that he's a very, very great individual. So we're answering his question. And the guy who answered it, I haven't looked at this guy's answer, Gary Brecka. These cards have this thing on the back that you can scan. Gary Brecka. That name sounds familiar. I don't know who that is off the top of my head, but Gary Brecka. Okay. So, once again, question. Sorry for keeping you guys waiting this long. What is the unobvious thing that you struggle with? So, I think there are a couple. See, this is the benefit of reading the card ahead of time. There are things that come to mind, and I can actually think about the question ahead of time. The one thing that makes this question difficult is I feel like you don't really know what people see or don't see that you might or might not be struggling with. But I think that I can answer it in a couple ways. So I think the first thing is just, and I don't think I'm unique in this, but I think that a lot of times there's this big misconception around about what something's actually like for entrepreneurs, what the actual day-to-day is. It's because what you have is you have entrepreneurs that are in the spotlight or having to highlight wins or successes, and it's part of your job in a big way. And one of the reasons why it's part of your job is because as the entrepreneur, and particularly you're the CEO of a company, you're trying to get not only great people to work with you and investors, but you're trying to get press. Oh yeah, you can go for it. Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I didn't mean to. I started working out and I saw you on there, and I was like,
Oh, I see. Okay. Maybe I could change the.
I'm getting paid, but
It's all good. I could put the camera here for a different. Where are you working out? Oh, okay. Sounds good. All right. So we're gonna change up the angle. Someone was in the background, didn't want to be on camera here. Let's see. Well, now you guys get a different angle. All right. All right, this works. Yeah, so I think that the big thing is, like, as an entrepreneur, your job is to, like, get customers, get investors, get the public fired up about what you're doing, because that's going to allow you to take the company to the next level. And in order to do that, people want to join something with momentum. They want to join you if you're building something big, if you have traction. No one wants to be on, like, the losing team. And so when it comes to, like, being the entrepreneur, being the CEO, you are going to have to highlight those wins. And I mean, I feel like it's kind of commonplace now amongst entrepreneur circles or people talking about building that, hey, you know, it looks a lot more glamorous on social media or online than it actually is in your day-to-day, which is true. But I don't think that they really talk about this aspect of why that is. And I think it's for the reasons why I just mentioned, where you're not necessarily doing your job, like, properly to the fullest if you're not trying to take advantage of building that hype around your company. That's one of the reasons why you see some of these founders being able to raise these massive rounds and the media going crazy over certain companies. And that helps them, right? But then when you get behind the scenes, you realize, oh, this is a shit show, and this company's barely staying afloat. So I think that when it comes to, like, the big thing that, like, it's not obvious that, like, I'm struggling with, and probably many other entrepreneurs are struggling with, it's just, how do you balance the two, where it's like the cognitive dissonance of, okay, you constantly feel like you're under, like, this mounting pressure. And no matter what you try and do, there's more and more pressure that's going to build and more responsibility that grows as your company grows. And on top of that, you've got, I don't know, like, you've got, like, the view of how everything is happening versus, like, what the reality of the situation is. I'm not sure if this is all making sense, but I guess the big non-obvious struggle is just keeping the house of cards going. That sounds like the wrong way to, like, it's trying to deal with all of the mounting pressure, and then being able to continue to do your job in the best way possible. And, like, for me, it's very difficult, and it can get, like, debilitating at times, where, like, because inevitably you have to make so many calls, and you're going to make a call with very little amount of time and really not having enough time to think through everything deeply. And then you're going to make a lot of wrong calls. And it's also because you don't have perfect information. Like, you're building something new. You don't know what the outcome, there's not, like, a tried path before. So you're kind of making calls, you're making incorrect calls. And eventually, like, you will make a ton of bad decisions, or at least I've made a ton of bad decisions. And that it obviously hurts, especially because making incorrect calls is, like, real consequences. And eventually it's like you get hit in the face over and over and over again. And there have been times where I'm legitimately just like debilitating, actually, I think is the right word, where, like, you're worn out, sleep deprived, you have this mounting pressure, and then a number of things that you thought should go your way, or at least like, or at least like this will happen. You take a couple big hits, and then you get new news as bad news. This might not be making sense like when I talk about it this way, but like I'll give you like some examples. Like, so I'll talk about it with MyWorker actually. So as I've been building MyWorker, like when you first start a company, it's much more vulnerable, right? It's not like a company that's been around. It's got a whole team. It's going to make it. It's able to access financing. It's like almost like a child, right? The only difference is with the company, your child is 100% going to die unless you find ways to build a good product, raise money, build a team, like all of this stuff. And so I remember in the earlier days, I had like of MyWorker AI, I had like an initial small team. It was self-funded, and with the initial small team, we had someone leading the tech side, and I was leading more of like the business development side. Still involved with the product and everything, but it's like dividing up responsibilities. And I remember the big challenge we were running into with our product was, okay, this is great. We're going to try and go and get customers, but we didn't know if the product would work. Because when we finally got everything working, and by working, I mean, hey, we could send emails, we could get like the data to flow, we could do all these things and actually get an outcome where the AI, excuse me, where the AI could fully take in the context, set up the email, and send out an email. Once we like got the initial product working, we ran into a massive problem. And this was after investing a ton of not just time and money personally, like you're talking about almost a year of investment of time, but talking about like hundreds of thousands of dollars and just a lot of time and attention to try and get like the initial thing going. We kept running into this problem, and that problem was that even though it could send emails, it didn't work at all, right? And then we simultaneously were running into this big problem that, like, to get a minimal product working is taking more and more money, right? And then even just to keep it operational, it took money. And then we saw competitors raising a ton of capital. And then we saw that we didn't really have a dialed-in customer. And then we're putting all this time and energy to get customers. And then those customers would churn out because they weren't getting results. And then we were running into individual issues with customers that were trying to get something. But let's say that they were trying to like launch with we allowed people early on to launch with their own emails, and or emails that we purchased. And when we gave people the ability to connect their own emails, if you send too many emails at once from a single email domain, it'll burn your email domain. And so we didn't want people burning their email domain, so we put like a limit in terms of how many you can send out in a campaign. But we didn't make the limit strong enough, and some people maxed it out more than we thought they would. So we had some people burning, like a couple customers that burned their main email domains. And then, I mean, I'm just scratching the surface on some of like the little things that we ran into in this short time frame. But it's like, pressure continues to mount. And then you realize that you don't have enough hands on deck to even manage all these things. So then you're thinking, okay, how are we going to improve the product, manage the existing customers, keep traction going so we can show traction for investors, and then run an investment process? And how am I going to juggle all these things? And you get to a point where you realize that there aren't even enough hours in the day to do the things that you're doing right now. And then you've got these whole other things that you have to do and all these other things counting on you and dependencies. And it just builds up. And it gets very difficult at times. But that is the name of the game. And I think that every single person who's building, every single entrepreneur, like this is not a unique problem or situation to me. I think that like everyone deals with that to a different degree. Or like when you're building a company, you're dealing with all of those things in different ways. That doesn't even include like many of the other things that you're going to go through, which like losing key employees, like not like having things that legitimately in your mind that you think there's like 75 to like 85% chance that this is a yes. And then that doesn't go according to plan. Then have like 5 of those hit in a row. Kind of makes you reevaluate like your decision making and things like that. So I think that the big unobvious struggle is just like how much like how they're like constantly under this type of a pressure, and it can be difficult too, just like because your brain constantly wants to think about it, so you're constantly like zoning out, like daydreaming or something like that, where you don't really like, you're almost like there, and you might even be like, I might be responding to someone, but like it's almost like I'm having doing two things at once, where I might be like, yep, yep, but then like I'll be kind of like zoned out and literally playing out different scenarios in my head for the for like what to do with the business. And I would actually do that when I was younger too, where it's really hard to explain because this is not going to make sense. But when I was in class, I would go every single day in class, and this is going to sound like I'm exaggerating. I'm not. I never learned anything in class. Like literally never paid attention to any teachers in class. The entire time, like I was just kind of zoning out. But like now that zoning out will happen. But like I'll be thinking about other things, piecing it together other things. But yeah, naturally just doing that for the business. But you're constantly, when you're doing that, piecing it together, but you're trying to solve problems. So like be there. And like Paige will always be like, what's wrong? Like, are you okay? And I'll just be like, oh, I was just zoning out. Like I was just thinking. She's like, you look like stressed or worried. But like, I was like, oh no, that's just like my thinking face. Then I kind of like finally pieced it together. I'm like, wait, maybe both things can be true. Where I'm just zoning out, thinking about what to do, working. But since you're solving problems or whatever, it'll look like stressed, you know? Really just no organization on these thoughts, just dumping them out. But I think that those are like, answer the question like 5 times. I guess the one thing that you guys do see is that, I mean, even on this stream, but especially this past week, or week and a half really, like you're not working at 100%. So like inevitably, if you're putting in really long hours, there just aren't enough hours in the day to do everything. Like it's a lot of jobs that you have to hold at once. And so it's just long hours and you don't really like get to sleep as much. Then eventually you get a little run down. All right. I'm going to take off my sweatshirt and then we'll get ready to actually hit the workout.
Paris, London, Berlin, Istanbul, now in downtown LA. John Reed Fitness.
Okay, I'll give one more example, and then we'll figure out what we want to hit. Okay. Oh, I accidentally just paused the... All right, here we go. So on Friday, Paige and I went out with a couple of friends who we know from one of the startup communities we're in. Very nice people, Nick and Vera. Nick, he's working at a tech company, and now he's trying to start his own venture. And then Vera owns a social media marketing company. She's building her own thing. So, we all went out. There was an event being put on by Andrew Yang. I don't know if you guys know who Andrew Yang is, but he is a beast. He actually was an entrepreneur and philanthropist. Forget how many companies he started, but most people actually don't know him for his companies. They know him because he ran for president, I think 2 races ago. Yeah. And his crew is called the Yang Gang. But I've actually listened to him on a number of podcasts. The dude is super sharp. I'm not someone that really likes politicians in general, or normally, I don't know, I'm not like too political. I guess technically I have a lot of views that are relating to politics, but I don't directly align with like either side. But I'll look more based on like the individual, and I think that you can find redeeming qualities about it. Let's be real. Like anyone you could really, if you look, find redeeming qualities. And on the flip side, find things you don't like. I think when it comes to politicians, you can normally find a lot more less redeeming qualities in general than many other roles. But Andrew Yang is one of the few people, and this is before I met him, right? He's one of, like, these are my thoughts. Like, I didn't really talk to him for too long on Friday. Spoke with him, like, very briefly twice. But it was, like, a party. And it's also, like, a loud environment, you know? There's, like, a DJ, and it's like a nightclub. And so it's not the easiest place to have a conversation with someone. But, yeah, but all that to say, I think that before I met him as well, I had these views that the guy's extremely intelligent. I think, and I really hold the bar high for this because I don't think this in most cases, but I think in his case, he genuinely thinks through the policies and like stands for them because he believes they're the right policy. And the reason why I say that this is really rare is because a lot of politicians, especially career politicians, the name of the game is that you need donors, you need capital to run, you need to align with other allies that have certain causes or vested interests in supporting those causes. So let's say you're a politician, you want to align with the oil and gas industry. You want to align with X, Y, or Z on a certain policy. You'll get backing from them. You'll go in and you'll say, okay, well, I'm going to make it part of what I'm doing. You're not putting this out as publicly, but it's like super obvious. You're going to go and support this industry for whatever cause you're explaining to the public. But it's really because, and maybe they do believe it, maybe they don't. But anyway, with Andrew Yang, I don't think that's the case. He was actually the one, I think this is a very important topic. He was the one that was supporting and bringing the UBI conversation to the forefront. He was actually doing this pre-AI. Before AI started going crazy, not pre-AI, but before like the ChatGPT craze, all of these things. I'm not sure how much he was anticipating or foreseeing the rise of AI and digital intelligence, but he was along this line. But when I say UBI, I mean universal basic income. So his policy that he wanted to push forward was, he's like, hey, taking care of the basic necessities is important, and think that we should have some type of stipend or payment going out to every American that helps them with whatever they need. And they can choose how to spend that how they want, but like, hey, if you're getting, I don't remember the exact amount, so don't quote me on it, but something like $1,000 a month in every American's pocket, and you can do with that what you want. And, you know, this is a very non-traditional, if you want to look at American politics, non-traditional, like some people could look at this as like socialist/communist type of policy, but I think that the logic behind it, and you guys know I believe in free markets and things like that, building businesses, entrepreneurship. I think all these things are very important, but I don't think one is necessarily fully true without the other. I think that if you're going to have the types of spending that we already have, then I think that a lot of that spending is wasteful. It would be better in the private sector and free market principles. You can take the exact same person, if you put them in a fully free market system versus a like non-free market system, the exact same people are going to produce a lot more in a free market system. And I think that just naturally, if you have a system, like right now, we're not a fully free market system, like super obviously. But if you're going to have a system that is like a blend, then that blend should at least make it easy for people to actually get access to the capital and have it spent on what they need. So, you know, I understand the policy side. And with him, I think that what he's saying makes a lot more sense in a world where you have AI, just because a lot of the wealth is going to be it's going to be concentrated in these companies that own the infrastructure, the AI infrastructure that's going to power all areas of the society. So what that means in that world is that it's a lot more difficult if you want to have a normal job or be a contributor in the society. The bar is going to be a lot higher because AI is going to be able to do a lot of things much more cheaply. So it actually slightly changes that question of how do you handle, like, what's the best governance structure for a society? Because if you have one where you have full free market with like certain level of technology, that makes sense. But I think that once you go into the realm of digital superintelligence that can go and perform all the work in society at a much lower cost, then a pure free market system becomes more questionable. Because what happens when the average IQ to be able to contribute in a highly advanced society becomes like 150? I mean, that pretty much axes out everyone. We're not at that point now, but the trend line of how much higher of an IQ you need to contribute with AI's advancement, that's skyrocketing. So food for thought, food for thought. I don't know how I got on this. Oh, got on this rant because of Andrew Yang. So yeah, went to his party on Friday. There were some cool people there, like the founder of Stan, Paige and I. Yeah, we got to go out and had a good time. Checked out one other spot after that event and then went back. But in full transparency, I had a really bad headache. I'm still, I guess, recovering just from everything that had built up from like not fully recovering from the sickness and then just trying to also catch up on sleep. So I was in a little bit of a crabby mood. I was just pretty quiet. I had a headache. Also ran into some of our other tech friends who are there as well, which was great because Paige got to meet some of my other friends in the area who are in tech. It's actually funny. There's this one house that, who knows, Paige and I might actually end up joining, but it's like a community with a bunch of creators. So they have two big houses, like creator houses, for people building in tech, and they're about to get a third. And even for me, it was my first time meeting one of the people, or two of the people, new people who are coming into the newer house. And this actually, Paige had this conversation, but she told me about it. She thought it was funny. So Paige is meeting them for the first time. She asked one of the people, like, "Oh, that's cool. You're in the creator house. So what do you do?" And the guy responds, "Oh, I pay rent." Yeah, I pay rent. That actually is an important thing, you know. It's a good answer. It'd be problematic if he didn't. Anyway, we're at the 30-minute mark here, so we got to actually go and hit this workout. Actually, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna clean off the machine and then we'll go downstairs. Okay. 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 What do we want to hit?
So yeah, so we have quite a few. I'm like, it's.
All right. Gotta turn on the facial recognition piece. Okay, we're gonna hit some machines upstairs. I gotta wave at it if I want it to follow me.
LA's hottest new club is a gym. John Reed.
Okay. We're gonna hit some leg curls. Now you might be thinking, Will, this is different than what you normally do. And I would tell you that is correct. Normally we start with compound lifts, but I realized the other day that I need to hit more hamstrings. And I thought, you know, why not just start with them? Try that out. All right. We're gonna do a little bit of stretching. Okay. So I told you guys about Friday night. Now, yesterday was glorious. Yesterday, super chill. Got up, drove Paige to, it's like 35 minutes away or something, but she had to meet someone, so she met this lady, who I think does a lot of stuff in Hollywood. Paige, at some point in the future, is thinking about taking her book and her art and turning it into an animation series, which is really cool. So while all that was going down and she was meeting with them, I met with Joaquin, and Joaquin and I discussed some big plans. We've got some super exciting stuff coming down the pipeline. I'm not even sure if I should drop it right now. Should I drop it right now? In the chat, if you guys want me to drop the news, let me know. I might drop the news right now. This is real time. I have a call for what I'm potentially about to tell you about. I have a call for that right after this stream ends at 10 a.m. Pacific. It's pretty cool stuff. Okay. I'm gonna hit this set, and you know what? I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you guys what the news is, what we're working on. Feels interesting hitting these first. Normally we hit these after we've done squats and everything else. Okay, so I'll share the news with you guys. So yesterday, I was chatting with Joaquin, and the way that I like to kind of do things in general is if you throw everything, or we throw all the ideas on all at once, then it's super hard to execute. Like, and borderline impossible unless you've got like a really big team. And so what Joaquin and I have been doing is it's like when we first kicked off, we thought, okay, what are the North Star metrics that we need to get good at and like improve? So we kind of got our baseline for, you know, YouTube basically. Outside of subscribers, more so like average view duration, click-through rate. Like when you're scrolling YouTube, how many people are clicking? When they click, how long do they stay for? These are the key metrics that YouTube is going to care about because it keeps people on the platform, more advertising dollars. From the creation side, we need to nail these metrics, obviously. So we got our baseline, we've been improving, and we've been learning. This is a new game to me, so learning all the things that are going to improve those things. So this last week, we reached a tipping point where I think we finally realized how to better create a good title and thumbnail, how to hook, how to maintain attention, and it actually started to bear out in the stats. And so I thought, okay, now could be the time to unleash this next level, right? And so I had seeded this next level earlier, but I told him, look, this isn't the top priority, but I want to let you know that this is something that we're going to want to do and move towards. And that idea was, I mean, it's called Clippers, but in reality, it's like taking the full-length streams, going into Discord communities with a bunch of editors, and then basically pay them to push out, edit those clips, and push it out on their social channels. And it sounds easy when I say it like that, but it's actually like a decent sized lift because you got to find the Discord communities, you got to get into those Discord communities, you got to connect with the right people and figure out how they run things. You got to put figure out how to manage the clips, manage the people clipping, the entire process. It really is like not something where you just snap your fingers and it all happens, right? So I'd seeded that idea and said, look, I don't know how to do this. I haven't tried to do it, but I know that this is how a lot of the big creators blew up. Like the streamers and then the people who've gone viral, they like executed this strategy. So once we kind of get our hands around what we're doing, we're gonna have to figure this out. And he completely agreed. And that's kind of like where we'd left the discussion. I want to say I brought that up about a month ago. I had the idea for it a while before a month ago, but I brought it up with him seeding the idea about 1 month ago. So I'm gonna hit this next set and then I'm gonna tell you what happened yesterday. So we made some progress on it after we had a call on it, and then a bunch of stuff happened yesterday after that call. So I'll tell you after the set. Okay. So yeah, I spoke with Joaquin yesterday, and I mentioned this whole idea to him. I said, look, this is what... Well, I first figured out, okay, well, what were the stats from this past week? How are we feeling about everything? And then was wondering, okay, well, if we feel like we have our hands around this, then let's talk about this Clipper idea. And he's like, okay, yeah. And so I asked him, I said, Joaquin, when do you think would be the right time for us? Because, he's the one executing, doing everything from a production standpoint. And so the last thing I want to do is dump all this on him. And then he's trying to do both and not doing either of them really well. So I said, okay, what do you think? And he said, well, I think we definitely need it before we start the MyWorker YouTube channel, which is, you guys know MyWorker, the company. So we're thinking about starting a YouTube channel there to help the business grow. So he said, I think that we definitely need it before then to have this piece figured out. And I said, okay. And we kind of just followed that line of thinking, and we realized, we're finally at that tipping point where something like this would make sense, where we could go and try and get it figured out. but I simultaneously didn't want to throw all of this on Joaquin's plate and then just like kind of mess everything up, because that would be the worst thing if I like threw it on his plate, didn't work out, and then it messed up like everything else that he's trying to do from the content side. So that is what, going full circle, what we did yesterday. So yesterday I was spending the entire day like in Discord and like researching in ChatGPT, and there were like 15, 20, I think like probably about 20 different servers. And so we found every clipping Discord, probably not everyone, but a lot of the big ones. We found the ones that it looks like a lot of the big streamers are using, and we joined them and we tried to find out who the admins were, and we messaged every single person that we could message in these different channels. I'm gonna hit the set and then I'll tell you what happened. All right, we're gonna up the weight a little more. This is more weight than we normally do, but yeah, we're starting it fresh. We didn't hit squats or anything before this, so I think we should be good. Okay, that was a little too heavy. Yeah, so we started messaging all these people on Discord. Also, Discord is like very new to me. I don't know about you guys, but I don't use Discord much. I know that Discord's big in like the streaming community, and a lot of these people are like chronically on Discord. But I never really used Discord, so it's like trying to figure all this stuff out, firing off all these messages, trying to like decipher what is being put in these chats. These chats are like using all these acronyms that I don't know. And I don't think that I'm like fully out of touch with these things, but like I can't even remember what some of these things were, like NYD, and like, I don't know, just super random like acronyms that I've literally never seen used. And like people are spamming like all these things in Discord. So I couldn't decipher that, but I like found out who the admins were. I started messaging them, and a few of them actually responded. I told them, hey, I've got X budget, looking to like what it would look like to get a campaign launched. And so got one deal ready, like fully lined up, like got that all the way through yesterday. Have Joaquin and this guy in the chat have the crypto deposit address. Hopefully I don't get scammed. No, I'll be fine. It seems like they have a number of different campaigns up. And then there's another guy that I'm speaking with at 10 today. But like overall, the whole strategy that we're about to start doing is we're gonna let these communities of like editors and clippers take these clips, run with them, post them, and that'll just help us get a lot more reach than we're getting at the moment. Because we're putting out like a good amount of content, but I don't think we're getting the juice that we could be from all the stuff we're getting. So I think that this is gonna help it grow. And then I'm gonna hit the set, and then I'll tell you like kind of the business thinking around this, like the unit economics. I feel like when we normally hit these, we're a lot more warm because we normally start with compounds and we'll hit the squats first. It feels kind of weird hitting it like fresh. Yeah, so anyway, the unit economics behind like this business decision. Well, first off, if you don't know what unit economics is like the breakdown of like how the money of your business model works. So, like for very simple, like a simple example, let's say like when I was a little kid, I like sold water, right? So, like I knew that the unit cost per water bottle was maybe like 25 cents. And if I'm selling those at a dollar 50, I was really young at the time, so the costs are different. But if I was selling those at like $1 a pop, it's 25 cents, then it's like, okay, 75 cents to deliver. It's like a profitable endeavor. So on the clipping side, the unit economics costs, these were all very new to me. When I saw the cost for the clipping, I was like, okay, this is like a no-brainer to at least try out, because you pay on a performance basis, so on a per view basis. So every 1,000 views, depending on the clipping community, it might be like $1 to like $4, right? Or yeah, $1 to $4 per 1,000 views. And so if you think about this, like let's say that it's like what, like $1,000 per million views, right? If there are 1 million people looking at this, and the main channel is connected on those campaigns, we're going to get the data around like how many people convert to followers, and then see how that funnels through to the bottom line. But it just seems like a no-brainer that with that many views, we'll be able to ship more sales on the Sazmining front or on the AI software front. So, I mean, like that, it's basically like the cost of ads, but you're building a residual following. So yeah. Anyway. The one unknown is it's not we're not like running ads, so to say. We're just like putting the content in front of more people. Okay, I think we're gonna do like 2 more sets of this, but on the next sets we're gonna do drop sets. So it'll kind of be like 3 sets to failure per set. So we're gonna go to failure 6 more times on this.
John Reed Radio. Sound mind, sound body.
Yeah, so going back to the unit economics of it, this is kind of like the unknown, because, I mean, there are a number of unknowns here. The first unknown is, first off, like, I think that the odds of this is very unlikely, but, like, if there's a whole Discord community and they're just scamming and they don't actually do the stuff, then, like, that's just, like, 100% loss on the money, right? I think the odds of that are pretty low, but there's always the possibility. So there's that. Then there's the odds of there not being proper like tracking, or the accounts that they're doing it's misrepresenting. So if they bot, that's probably the biggest risk. If like they're trying to present data or posts and then have people monetize those posts, but they're just like botting it up, then that's a risk, but that's why we're testing it. We're just like throwing, we're going to throw like a few $1,000s at this. And we're testing each community initially with $500 to $1,000. So ideally, so after we run these, we can see, okay, who are the best clippers? Which communities do we have the best like return? We can look at the performance of each of these. And then once we see like maybe one community is way better than the others, or we find like 2 legit communities that are like delivering on what they said they can do, then we can run with those axe those like experimental ones that didn't work, and then double down on growing with those communities. And let's say that, you know, for every 1,000,000 views, just for super simple numbers, because I don't know exactly how the breakdown is going to like fall out, but like per 1,000,000 views, just even skipping, like I don't know what the conversion is from those in terms of clicks to our profile, in terms of like followers, in terms of like purchases from followers, but whatever that is, let's just assume that like at a high level, per like $1,000 into the gumball machine and per 1,000,000 views, we get like 5 sales, then that covers it, right? And I think that with like 1,000,000 people viewing, like 5 sales is definitely reasonable, because one person could decide to buy like 1 mining rig and then 5 mining rigs or whatever it is. Like the economics work a lot better, and that doesn't even include AdSense revenue that you get from like YouTube or these other platforms that pay you. And we wouldn't even need sponsor deals, because we would just like, we already have business engines that the content and the audience can funnel into. Whereas like many creators might have an audience, but they don't have a business. So then they'll like go and promote another business, even if they don't like the business. But for us, we wouldn't need to promote another business. We have a business. We would just hope that some of the people who watch or follow are part of the target customer that those businesses are selling to. And my hypothesis is that the answer to that is yes, that there is part of that audience that would be interested in one of our 2 businesses. And then it's nice, because then we don't even need the ads. Oh my God. All right, we're doing a drop set here. Drop the weight. So yeah, I think that's that fully catches you guys up, actually. It's everything we were doing. I mean, that's legitimately everything I just explained to you in that story. You guys hear it now in like 5 minutes, but yesterday it was kind of just like so much back and forth with all these people to get it all set up, and also learning about it. So I didn't know about how all these worked. I didn't know what the standard like costs were. I didn't know what these Discord communities were, or, you know, all of this was new. But yesterday I had the call with Joaquin. He said, yeah, I'd be down to try and get this going. I can do some research, and then like maybe next week we can discuss how it might look. And I was like, you know, I'll go and look into this. And yeah, basically got it all rolling. So Joaquin now has he was doing the final review, and like we're doing a little back and forth with him as well after the call. When I had learned a little bit more, sent him the ChatGPT thread, but let him know, hey, you know, this is kind of what I've learned. This is what we're going to try and do. I'm going to put you in touch in the Discord with the right people. And yeah, we're about to get this going. Later today, I think I'm going to send off the kickoff amount for at least this first guy. Got this call at 10. If it all checks out there, which I'm guessing it will check out enough to do the test, then we'll fire off a campaign with him. And then that'll be fully in motion. And then the rest of the day, our assistant's coming over at 11 a.m., which is going to be good. We're going to follow up on a lot of the messages. Going to try and get some customer calls set up, get the investor funnel going, and follow up with some customers and get some of our social media pieces pumping on X. And then one of my other friends, she puts on conferences and does a lot of, I don't know, like a lot of things in tech. She travels a ton for different events and conferences. She hit me up yesterday and was asking about this conference called Scalable happening in San Diego. I told her that I might go, but now it just looks like things have been kind of like piling up or getting busy. So I was like, yeah, I'm probably not going to Scalable. And I was like, when are you coming to LA? And she said, I'm actually going to be here tomorrow. That was yesterday. So she's going to be here today, and then she flies out tomorrow. So it'll be good. I didn't get to meet up with her during Tech Week, but I'm excited to meet back up with her, see what she's been up to. She actually has a recruiting company as well. So she helps place like talent, VAs, things like that. And so, yeah, maybe she'll have a good talent funnel for us in the future. Okay. I'm rambling here. This will be the last. This will be the last set on this. We're doing 3 sets to failure. Drop set number 2. Last set. Okay. I kind of like how up here we kind of have a little bit more space. We can have this like camera actually set up to follow. So instead of going downstairs and hitting the rest of the workout there, I think I'm just gonna try and use some of these machines. Like I've never used this machine over here or that one, but I think we might just do that because it'll be easier. I use this one here. All right. All right, we're gonna figure this out. Okay. So this looks like a squat machine. Oh, okay. Oh, this is a very confusing machine. How do I? Oh, there we go. The heck? What is going? Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna figure this out. What is here? Okay.
John Reed, USA.
All right. I think I got it. I think I got it. Oh. Oh no, I put it down too far. All right, here we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're gonna up the weight a little. Okay. This is actually a cool machine. I'll explain it after. Like, look at, you guys can't see it, but down here, it's not like quite a leg press, but it's got like a little, I'll show you after. You ain't a bitch, but baby, I'm my bitch. You ain't no hoe, but baby, I'm my hoe. I got a repeat. That shit, I bet you real VVS, I ain't gonna get you right, so. You ain't a bitch, but baby, I'm my bitch. You ain't no hoe, but baby, I'm my hoe. I've been around the world, but I realized this. You're the one that I want, there's no place like home. Hey, I'm your bitch, better act like you did. I think we in love, I'm your little twin. I like how we vibe, you my love and friend. Stunning on bitches, I'm driving his beat. But damn, too many hoes on my line. You let go of yours, I'ma let go of mine. Like, nigga, you know that I'm lying. Don't play by my feelings, cause niggas be dying. I do what I want, I'm grown. Act like I'm mad, but you turning me on. We out in public, can't wait to get home. We all in the car, and you ripping my thumb. Can't say mad at you, and I know that you're wrong. I can't help myself, my mind really gone. Be missing you bad when it gets through the phone. Come fuck with a boss, skirt, come on. You a dog, baby, you my dog. Fuck this house and niggas, we gon' wild. I've been around the world, I ain't been a nigga yet. All right. Nigga, my cushion, I be all in charge. You a dog, but baby, you my dog. Fuck this house and niggas, we gon' wild. We're gonna up the weight a little bit. So yeah, this is a cool machine. So right here, this thing kind of, it'll move like that. So it's not quite like a leg press where it's like super static, which I don't know if I like or not, but it is different. It's a very unique machine here. They were playing this on Friday at the Yang Gang party. All right. We upped the weight to 300 here, so I think we should be good with this weight. I'm gonna try placing my feet a little differently on this next one. Okay. Damn, that actually felt really good. I might start actually using this machine now. I think we can up the weight a little more though. So we're gonna go to 400. We just did that last one on 300. It's actually gonna be pretty heavy, but we'll try it out. Guys, I'm fired up. This is gonna be good. Feels like things are excuse me. Feels like things are moving in the right direction. It feels like with we've just been blocking tackling. You guys have seen exactly how we've been blocking tackling. Because on these streams, I'm kind of telling you my thought process, but it's like, okay, need customers and need capital. So how are we going to get those two things? And like on the big thing is like, okay, well, in order to get the customers, we need to like manage a sales funnel all the way through and support them. And we got an assistant to help us juggle and make sure that we keep these things on track. Same thing with the investor side. It's like we're going to go and raise a round or bring in angel capital or do anything related to growing the company, then we need to keep that organized while we go and do that. And there are a lot of potential investors in our network, but it's like, okay, how are we going to keep all these things on track? So, our assistant coming in today, we might end up extending her hours because right now we have her in the morning 4 hours a day, and then in the afternoon I'm going into the WeWork the rest of the day. So I might have her come in at nights, like after I get back from the WeWork. A couple things up in the air. Okay, here we go. This one's gonna be heavy. This one's 400 pounds. I think this might be too heavy. Holy shit. All right. I'm going to give it another shot here. It's too heavy. Out here begging for attention, niggas say please. Always rapping like you about to get the slaves free. You just acting like an activist, it's make believe. Don't even go back to your hood and plant no money trees. Say you hate the girls I fuck with, what you really mean? I've been with black and white and everything that's in between. You the black messiah wiping up a mixed queen. And hit vanilla cream to help out with your self-esteem. Also Bobby shit, I wanna know what we mean. That puppy love was over in your late teens. Never hold your son and tell him say cheese. Kids out of this, don't blame me. You just play sweet. Damn, who the fuck is doing this much weight? This thing goes up to almost 500 pounds. I really thought that we'd be able to do the 400. I think if we had gone, like pushed really hard, we could have. But it's like our first time doing this machine. It's like we don't want to risk it, but I think I'm going to start doing this. It's getting lightheaded on that last one. Oh.
So let me paraphrase. Knew it was smoke when Abel hit us with the serenade. Niggas said, almost started reaching for my ways.
I was getting lightheaded on that last one.
I was really trying to keep it.
Yeah, this is a good one. I'm going to start doing this. It also feels less dangerous than when we squat, which is weird. I mean, I'm wondering if we should try 400 again, because we can squat about that much. Maybe we can squat a little more if we really pushed it, which makes me think that like we should be able to do 400. I think if we went for it, like really went for it, I think we could do it. Fuck it, you know. We're gonna do one more set. And on this last one, I'm just gonna try and go for it. I mean, we just did a ton of reps at 335. So I think we should be able to get one. At least one. I think it's more so that we just didn't go for it. I am still feeling a little lightheaded from that last set I just did. This actually, I'm not sure if this has happened to other people. I Googled it and like, it happens a little bit more to power lifters, what I'm about to share with you. But it was, if you roll back the clock to how many years ago is this? Oh my God. I think this was 2019. Yeah, 2019. So that's 6 years ago. I was out in North Carolina, and my routine at the time was first thing in the morning when I'd wake up, I'd go to the gym. And I would also hit these workouts fasted. So I wouldn't eat before I'd go and hit the gym. Kind of like I'm doing this like right now. It's like I haven't eaten yet today. Hit these fasted workouts. And at the time too, I was like, I had certain fitness goals that I was going for. To put it into perspective, I've been lifting for about 13 years. So, you know, this was what, 6 years ago? So I was probably like a little leaner than I am right now and just like slightly less big. Been making like a little bit of progress year by year. But my goal at the time was I wanted to maintain or build strength, but simultaneously like cut and get a little bit leaner. So that's what I was trying to do at the time. And I was on this crazy like diet. Well, I guess technically it is a diet, but it was called the warrior diet. Not sure if you don't know what the warrior diet is, but the whole thought process behind the warrior diet, it's kind of like intermittent fasting. But when you hear people talk about intermittent fasting, they normally say 8-16 or 16-8, which means 16 hours of the day you're not eating calories. You can have coffee or whatever. And then during those 8 hours is when you get all your calories. So that's what most people think about when they say fasting. When we talk about warrior diet, you're doing one meal a day. So your body kind of adjusts. So you're actually not getting hungry really throughout the rest of the day. has something to do with your ghrelin levels, like your hunger hormone, ghrelin. And if you're eating at the same time every single day, your body is like used to that. It's like, all right, if you always eat dinner at 6 p.m., it's coming up to 6 p.m., your body starts releasing ghrelin, you get hungry. The reason why warrior diet's great for losing fat is because your body stops releasing ghrelin throughout the day, and you just start getting hungry for that one meal, which is totally fine, like you should be. You haven't eaten in 22 hours. So during that one meal, you can eat as much as you want, and you're not gonna overeat like 2,500 calories in a meal, like unless you're trying to. It's like maybe you can if you're really trying to push it, but like you're really not going to. And so at this time I was on the warrior diet, and I was hitting the workout fasted in the morning. We probably still have some food in me after the night before. So I was hitting squats, and I remember I was like I had all my equipment, had like the belt and everything. I was hitting these squats, and during like one of my sets, I was like pushing, like breath was held. And I mean, you guys have probably seen it if you've seen like powerlifting or people who just are pushing really hard, their face gets all red. But like you exacerbate that if you're holding your breath, you have a belt, you have a ton of weight on your back. I remember I just like hit a rep really hard. And then I got an exertion, I looked up what it's called. Like I got a really bad headache, like really, really bad headache. And it wasn't going away. And then whenever I lift, I'd get this headache again. I was like, oh my God, what did I do? Am I gonna have like a silent, like I was actually worried that there were serious health like consequences, like if I had to go to the hospital and everything. And I ended up going to the hospital like later on, not like right away or anything. Like, cause it kept coming up and I'm like, this is annoying. I gotta figure out what it is. But I'll tell you what it is in a second. I gotta try and hit this. So this is the 400 that we didn't get last time, but I feel like if we push, I can get it. Ah. 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 See, I knew we could do that shit. It was just that first rep, getting that first rep up. Oh man, I get lightheaded when I do that though. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that first rep, the first rep feels really weird because it's super unstable. Like this thing right here, it's like this. But once we get the first rep up and we kind of get in the groove, felt super doable. So actually, like I was explaining, so this thing that I was getting for my headache, it wasn't going away. So, and whenever it felt like it was getting better, I would like lift hard again, and then like it would reappear, and it wouldn't be as bad as it was like that very first day, but it would come back, and it was very problematic because like imagine if every single time you like lifted hard, you got a bad headache. Like it's super annoying. It's just having a migraine all the time. So eventually I was like, all right, like looking online. This isn't going away. I don't know how to make it go away. So I end up going to the doctor, and I asked them, I'm like, I explained what's happening. I don't remember exactly like what tests they ran, but they asked me a bunch of questions. And long story short, it turns out that they diagnosed me with having like an exertion headache, lifting related. And they said, okay, this is not the best, you're not going to like this, but you basically just have to stop squatting, because that is leading to these issues. And you also can't lift hard. And realistically, you should just try and avoid lifting for like a month or something. And I ended up like listening at first, but then it healed faster than a month. And so then I just started like going back, but you know, being a lot more careful, like not pushing hard or anything, but wanting to get back into the gym. And it ended up eventually just on its own, it went away, which was very nice because it's not fun having headaches all the time. And then I was actually really careful on squats for a while, because at that point, by the time that had happened, from squatting, I'd injured my back before. I'd now had these exertion headaches. Like there were times where if I wasn't careful and I lifted really hard, or I pushed that extra last rep, like kind of like tweaked my knee. Not like super serious, but like the knee just feels like a little uncomfortable. That was also from squatting. But my knee was also more susceptible because I'd like injured it skiing. I had some like previous knee issues. So yeah, because of all these things, like squats were my favorite, and I like them a lot because they're great. They're like amazing for building muscle, but it's just kind of like a dangerous exercise. So now whenever you see me squatting and you see super slow form and like not pushing the weight crazy or all these things, it's because I've been injured before from squatting and I don't want to get injured. All right, I'm going to hit one more. Then we'll go down, hit some calves, and then probably call it. Not really having like a crazy workout or anything, but these workouts I keep a little bit more chill because it's hard to get dialed in when I'm streaming. All right. This first rep's always the hardest on this machine, based on what I learned last set. Okay, we're done with that. Whew. Damn, that shit makes me lightheaded. The other thing too, like with this head thing, like is pulling my hair on my bun. All right. Now this was good. We're gonna start actually using this machine more often. Yeah. Actually, what do we want to do here? Let me see what time it is. So we've got that 10 a.m. call. So I got to make sure. Okay. Okay. We actually don't have too much time. What are we feeling here? All right. Okay. So we're gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna hit some calves, and then we're gonna bounce. And keep it simple. It was nice and open upstairs. Downstairs is probably going to be crowded, but it's okay. All right, fingers crossed it's open. Fingers crossed. Okay. Oh, well, let's go. It's open. Oh, yeah. Okay. It's actually good. Also, the workout that we're hitting today is definitely not like an ideal leg day. If I was trying to if you're trying to make a program where you're going to make the most gains, then it's probably not what we're doing today. But on the bright side, we did today, we learned a new machine. I'll put this down here. We learned a new machine. We changed it up because we started with hamstring, which I actually have been wanting to do. So that's also good. And we hit basically all parts of the leg. We hit hamstring first, then we hit more quads and glutes. And then now we're hitting calves. So we're basically hitting all areas of the leg. I'm gonna grab some more weight. Okay. A lot of the 45s are taken, so we are gonna do 235s. Okay. Ooh. It's actually a good weight. So 245s, 235s. That's like, oh my gosh. How much weight is this? 70 plus 90. Okay, 70 plus 90, 160. Or no. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So 160 feels good. When I was working out with Leo, we would do, well, Leo's a beast, but he would toss 5 plates on this. And I mean, we could move the weight, but it's too heavy. It makes it hard to get full reps. Then you're not getting as many reps. So this is better. 2 plates and 2 35s. Okay. We're gonna hit 2 more sets on this and then we'll bounce. And then we've got our Diary of a CEO card. Random mystery card.
Feel the beat. John Reed.
Should probably stretch for a little bit too. This is something new to us. We haven't been stretching at all, so it's probably a good habit to start getting into. We'll stretch a little after. Okay. Last one. We're not taking much rest in between these because we're on the clock. All right. All right, we'll do a quick stretch and then we'll bounce. I think in the last workout I showed you guys my tennis stretch routine. I'm the worst spokesperson for different stretching routines though. All right, let's see. Okay. We're gonna grab this little spot right here. Oh, okay. Here we go. This will be nice and fast. Oh. Okay. So, you know what? I'm just gonna make this very quick. Just gonna hit the basics. This right here hits glute. We do the turn. Hit the other side. We're just doing 5 seconds on each side. 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this. And switch. Coach Schwartz, it's our tennis coach at Bucknell. He would be very amazed to see me continuing to do these stretches. Yeah. And you can lean back, hit this a little harder. This one was the worst. All right. Stretching to both sides. 5. Yeah, this is kind of. We're gonna get more flexible. I can feel it. So we barely do. Well, we're doing 0 stretching. If we go from 0 to, stretching at least for a little bit, the end of every single leg day. All right. Should we try to rip some muscle ups? We'll try and hit some. I wonder if this thing's going to be able to track us. All right. All right. The dead hangs are actually really good for your shoulder health. That's what I heard on a podcast one time. But actually, in all seriousness, there was a dude. It was this guy on the podcast, and he was talking about how he went to literally every single shoulder doctor, and he was spending all this money trying to figure out the best thing that you can do for your shoulder. All these different, protocols, machines. Like, the guy looked into absolutely everything. So imagine if you dedicated a large portion of your life to learning about shoulder health. This guy, that's what he did. And he said that if he was to summarize everything and pass along how to maintain good shoulder health, he said it pretty much all boils down to just doing dead hangs. And he's like, yep, if you just do dead hangs, you pretty much get almost all the benefits. So it's another good thing to just do at the end of the workout, is just do some dead hangs. Oh, I'm now realizing that we have our call in 5 minutes, so got to get out of here. All right. Thanks, guys.
Take care, man.
I don't know why, but whenever I'm walking around with all this gear, it makes me feel, I think it's the backpack, feel like a little lad, you know? Kind of like I'm on my way to school. Okay, so we got our call in a couple minutes. You know what? Should I just pull a card right now? How much time do we have? You know, I feel bad. We're just gonna pull a card right now, and I'll answer it because I do have to run. So let me see here. Pulling out the cards. We'll pick a card. Make it quick. All right. That was the card that we just answered. Let's put that at the back. All right. What card? Oh my God. Guys. This is such a long... Guys, you look at this. When was the last time you cried of happiness? When was the last time I cried of happiness? Why are there such difficult questions on this? These are like questions that I don't want to answer. Oh my God. Okay. Well, I did this to myself. I pulled the card quick. We didn't have to do that, but now we did. Let's see. When was the last time I cried of happiness? Okay. I'm going to answer this question. So it's actually interesting because I've kind of told you guys a little bit about stuff related to this, but this is going to sound so, I don't know, maybe this is not going to sound sad, but it was that time that I was actually referencing earlier where it was like that a consistent buildup of just like so much stuff and pressure. And I think that at the time too, what really compounds things and makes it a lot more difficult. So I'm talking about MyWorker. So I was building the company, and it was one of those like busy seasons where it's like you're really not getting nearly enough sleep, which is important. I definitely don't do it enough, but it is important to get enough sleep. And things had been like building, and it was almost like that, what do they call Murphy's Law? Like everything that can go wrong will go wrong. And it's like building up. And the entire time you've got to, you're the one motivating the team, rallying the ships. Like you've got to have like a positive outlook on everything because people are kind of looking to you to make sure that you can be able to like make this thing work. And I remember that at the time we were in a really difficult spot because for all of the reasons that I was kind of mentioning before, but it was just, we're taking a lot of hits and like everything felt like it was falling apart and going wrong. And I think that the bigger piece at that time was also the uncertainty of whether it would work, like the product would work. And I mean, everything kind of hinged on that, but at the time you didn't really know because no one had done it yet. No one had made it where you could have a full system software that could do all of this work that we're trying to have MyWorker do, because it's a big ask, to go and be able to do all these different things. Sounds like an impossible product without AI. And I just remember getting like this message from one of our people on the engineering team that it was working. Like the product, like the data, he told me about like our reply rates based on like our initial subset from the new product launch and release that we did. And this sounds so lame and like corny that this is what did it for me. But I was just like finally like a win, and like a big win. I was like, oh my God, like, cause it felt like the entire world was falling apart. But like, this was such a big win that I was like, okay, you know what? Like, we're going to be able to do this thing, we're going to be able to make it work. But yeah, it was a very stressful time, obviously. And it was more so like, I guess for happiness, because it was a good thing that happened, but it was more like a relief of like, oh my God, like we're not just gonna have this thing blow up in flames, you know? So that was the last time. When, I can't remember the exact date, but I mean, that was within the past year. So anyway, very difficult question to get at the end. I'm running late for this call, so I got to bounce. But great stream, guys. And until next time, I will catch you later.